Hello and welcome. I'm Deirdre Coyne, the founder of Don't Diet, Try This. So this week we've been looking at the 4 steps to self-care and kindness within weight loss. We looked at 4 steps. So the first one that we looked at was the self-critical voice and changing that to something that is more compassionate to ourselves. So the example I would use would be that if you were sitting beside yourself on the couch, how long would you sit there if you were talking to yourself in the way that we sometimes do when we talk about how we never stick to anything, or look at them eating that whatever when they're trying to lose weight, and all those things that we say to ourselves that we would never say to anybody else. So it's about changing that self-critical voice into something more compassionate. Maybe, speaking as you would to a good friend who was asking, who was saying, I'm struggling with this. How would you approach that? Would you ever say to a friend, do you know what, you're absolutely, she'll never get this? Or would you say, you're trying your very best, and maybe you need to be kinder to yourself? So that was step 1. Step 2 was taking baby steps, or the Japanese word, which was kaizen, which is often used in leadership management, where it's looking at small improvements. So taking baby steps, and in James Clear, in his Atomic Habits, he talks about taking those baby steps and adding them on to another habit. So for example, if you usually make tea at 11 o'clock, that you use that maybe and you do some leg curls at the same time, or you add on a habit to another habit, but small incremental changes over time will make a big difference, rather than trying to do everything today and get everything done, and to cut down to 600 calories per day, for example. Taking small and making small changes, especially to nutrition, can be very powerful. The third step was to be curious. So almost treating your goals as an experiment, and standing back from the emotion to an extent. So the tool that I use is called the OWL tool, and this was the always observe. So from a kind perspective, so taking in the critical voice and changing it to what's actually going on here, and basing it and being curious to how you're approaching whatever it is you're trying to do. The W is to wait. So I would use, within my program, I would use a tool called the HALT chart, which actually looks and asks ourselves questions. So for example, am I hungry? So it's just waiting to see, are you hungry? Or is it something that you're just mindfully overeating, or something that will punish you? The L is to learn. So if something unplanned happens, then that you learn from that and you move on, rather than beating yourself up. You might ask yourself, did you enjoy it? Has it nourished me? And then you move on. The fourth step kind of ties into that a bit when we discussed what happens if something does go wrong. So what happens if there's a lapse or overeating, rather than allowing it to affect your goal, whatever that may be. And especially when you're looking at weight loss, it could be that unexpected takeaway, or whatever it is that has happened. It's about moving on to the next meal, actually. So ensuring that if something does happen, that your next meal is nutritionally dense, because the meal that has, the extra sugar, the takeout, or whatever it is, or the packet of biscuits, or whatever it is that has happened, that's going to spike your blood sugar. So it's about trying to get those nutrients in that day. So if this was lunchtime, for example, that your dinner would be nutritious. So it's all about not allowing that particular lapse to take us completely away. Or, sometimes when we think of previous diets, what might happen is the next day you say, right, that's it. I'm never, I'm going to eat 600 calories today because I had such an awful day yesterday. That's not going to be sustainable, and it's going to make you feel punished. It's going to make you feel that this is hopeless. So it's just that self-compassion and that self-kindness to say, yes, this has happened, but we'll move on if something goes wrong. I really hope that these 4 steps have been helpful for you, and that I will be speaking to you soon. If there's any questions or if there's anything I can help you with, please do reach out to me. And thank you for listening.